it's from because it's anonymous and you'll never know. I'll never tell.
All right, something's wrong with me. Okay, anyway, we just got our first letter. I'm super stoked. Thank you so much for the first submission. I really appreciate that. And it makes a difference here. Like, this is the start of something great. I know. Anyway, we got our first letter in, and I'm super stoked, and I'm happy to read this and kind of give some insight. And keep in mind, I am not a therapist, not a counselor, not even somebody you should take advice from, but at least if I could give you, a couple of things to hear to make you reconsider things, that's all I'm here for. That's what we're all here for. It takes a village. We have our first submission, and this one is to be read anonymously. So I do appreciate you taking the time to actually send this and actually sharing your story with me. And also, thank you for actually letting me know how you want this to be presented, because that is what matters. The first letter that we ended up getting says, "Is it wrong for me to talk on the phone to my new interest while your ex is in the same room? We're just roommates and no longer dating. And I don't think I'm wrong or being disrespectful because I didn't say anything that could hurt his feelings." So I really do appreciate this. This is great. I've actually lived through something similar. So when you are living with somebody that you were previously engaged with, I don't know, engaged? Yeah, whatever. When you're living with somebody that you were previously with, on a term that was more than a friend, you do definitely want to give them that grace and actually be, I would say, respectful in the light of this is a person that you respected enough to be with and that you cared about. So with that being said, you would have to think in a lot of these situations the way that you would act if they did the same things. And this is the one thing that's always stuck with me that I learned in church years ago. And you want to treat people how you want to be treated. Plain and simple. Treat people how you want to be treated. Does anybody else remember little things from church and you're just okay, yeah, that was fire. But then everything else, you're just fuck, right? Anyway, but treating somebody how you want to be treated is the best way to go about this. To be honest, I think that for me, when I was in this situation, I was you know what? We're not dating. They just don't want to be living at their parents' house, blah, blah, this and that. So it was cool. But what I really reflected on when I did do this was I was with this person, and then I went to go and hang out with somebody else knowing that, my ex still lived there. And once she found out, she was hurt by it. And I was but we're not dating. This is an arrangement that we have, And, why do I keep saying No, we don't know. I'm explaining. We don't know. Fuck. Anyway, with the situation that was at hand, I should have been a lot more considerate, because what I realized is if I knew that this person was still living in my quarters and going out and doing something else in their own time, yeah, that's perfectly fine. But at the same time, where's the respect? But I was doing that. So where are you supposed to be able to just throw that stone? Not at all. You're not able to throw that stone, because you have to actually sit with yourself and look on the inside and be at this point, if anybody was to be doing these same things to me, how would I react? And you have to be honest with that, no matter how spiteful you are, this and that. Now, I know that a lot of this talk probably comes into just if there was problems within the relationship. So maybe this person is still living with you, they were controlling, or they just didn't respect you how you felt like you should have been respected. There's a lot of factors like that that go into it also, but then that right there is just 100% going to be what is it? That's 100% going to be situational management. So you just want to manage not being in a certain situation or having a problem. Of course, I wouldn't be doing those things unless you know that you're gonna possibly expect a problem and just end up in one because you made choices. Yeah, your choices. So your choices do make problems, and that comes down to saying that you have to understand the person that you are dealing with. So yes, is it okay for you to talk to somebody else and like around the person that you used to be with only because you're roommates? 100%. But at the same time, like, do you understand or know this person's true emotions that they still have towards you? That's a hard thing to answer. Like, that's not a real easy thing to answer for anybody, because we don't read minds. All we can do is like read the energy that we're receiving. And with that being said, like, if you don't know what you're truly having around you as an energy, just keeping external energy outside of what you're already dealing with, like away from what you're dealing with, is the best choice right now. I would 100% say that, only for the fact of like that keeps you from having conversations that you don't feel like you need or want to have. And at the same time, with that new person that you're talking to, it also keeps you out of those conversations too, because maybe they understand the situation, but one day they wake up and something just bothers them. So, it is a very fine line, and it all comes down to knowing who you're around and how they want to be approached and how they want to be cared for, because you could be doing nothing that you believe is wrong or for what they told you, and just it's all bad for some reason. Like, it could all be bad for no reason. And you couldn't predict that, because they couldn't even predict that they would care. So it's just a bunch of different things. But I'm kind of beating like around this broken bush, the shrubbery, if we will. I will say that overall, with what we have read, like, I know you're not saying anything wrong, but if you could just keep the two different things that you have that are the past and current out of your life, I think that's the best way to go about it. If there's every which way that you can keep that comfortable. So if you can just go to another room and have that conversation, that's always going to benefit you more. Maybe wait till that person's not there to have those conversations, because at this time, like, you just have to understand the person that you were previously with and understand how they would feel. And at the same time, like with other things that you might be doing, you have to really ask yourself, like, if this was happening to me, how would I feel? And it sucks, but that's the easiest way to just keep things like out of your hands right now, and just kind of, eliminate as many problems as you can until you have that chance to be on your own again. And I really do think and hope that, this problem doesn't persist. Hopefully this person that is still living there has enough respect for themselves that they would remove themselves from this situation and move on with their life too, And that, I think that's one big thing that is also a determining factor, like how motivated is this person in life and what things they actually have around them. Because if there's a person that's actually doing enough things with themselves, maybe they won't care. Maybe they have other things they're figuring out, how to get away from living together, to do things for themselves and this and that. But if that person's not a motivated person and the situation at hand is like the real only thing that they have that they can, deal with or even give any energy to, you're probably going to end up in negative situations. So that's another thing that you just have to make sure you keep an eye on. Because like a person that's doing a lot with themselves, they ain't got time. They ain't got time to be dealing with your past bullshit. Yes, I think that this is the only easy way to say it. It's going to feel as toxic as the people in it. So even if you're not a toxic person, you're still going to deal with a toxic situation, and there's nothing you could really do about that. So for the time being, the best thing that I could say is ride it out. Be conscious of that person's feelings. Also be conscious of that person's energy. And I really feel like there's no real way to know what's going to happen. So the best thing that you can do is just get away from this. But I want to give advice, but telling somebody kind of what to do when I also yes, I have been through these things, but I feel like it's still wrong for me to kind of tell people how to be. It's just weird. I don't fucking know. But at the same time, I feel like this is just advice. It's nothing really to take wholeheartedly. I guess what I really want is just for you to hear things and consider it. So we'll go with that. Consider these things. You don't have to do exactly what I'm saying, but at least take these things that I have said. Just take a moment, stop, reflect on the days that you're walking through, and that's about it. But yeah, I really hope that we get a lot more of these submissions, and it was like kind of weird for me to do this, but I think as time goes, I'll be a lot less And I know this isn't some like crazy production or anything, but you know what? That's exactly what I want. I want it to be kind of just like a hangout. So that's all we're really doing, because it'd kind of be the same if we were just all sitting on this couch together anyway. So I don't know what to tell you. Fuck, you're awkward, man. God damn it. Anyway, I hope whatever I said helps. We don't fucking know, but treat people how you want to be treated. That's how you should take it. Thank you.